Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Let's talk about the leaks, and let me give you a little bit different perspective. Before I start, let me tell you, it was interesting seeing how far in the future these companies are going. If you really think about it, they're planning on games that maybe the people that bought the first game won't necessarily stick around that long playing video games. You know, people grow out of video games, but I think this is one of the reasons these companies pay for these franchise names, is because, you know, a name like Spider-Man, Wolverine, these type of heroes that have been around for decades are still going to be around for decades more, hopefully, right? And it's a safer bet than making a video game on some unknown, you know, character where you're not going to get any return. And of course, you know, we're learning these budgets now are soaring into the hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, what have you, 300 million, 305. I mean, that's going to be the standard price now for a, AAA game. But a lot of people ask, why didn't they pay the ransom? Well, guys, there's just no guarantee, and there's certain things that people don't think about when it comes to this. Now, let me tell you guys, you really have to be careful in your own endeavors and your own job, because depending on what company you work for, you might be liable for some of this crap, some of the damages to the company. If you're an independent contractor, for example, things like that, you really have to be careful. And 90% of the time, these things come in through email, somebody downloading something that is not up to par. So, follow your company's training. This is not legal financial advice, what I'm about to tell you, but these are common knowledge things throughout companies of reasons why they don't pay. Number one, there's no guarantee that the data is going to return. Paying the ransom doesn't guarantee that they're going to give you your data back, right? You're basically on an honor system, and I've worked at companies where we've been the victim of this. And, it's not a fun thing. It's not a fun thing. We were paralyzed for about a month. It took us, a good 3 months to recover, and bring everything back online. And that is with, a bunch of safety guards and everything, but it still wasn't a great experience, right? And we chose not to pay, and we ended up having to buy whole new computers for the entire company. That's that's how far it went. And that's number one. Number two, you might be funding criminal activities. Imagine that you pay the funds, right? And those funds are used for, I don't know, they could be in North Korea, it could be the mob, it could be a Russian mob, it could be anything. It could be a guerrilla group. You just don't know what this money is going to be used for. And imagine you pay that money and it's used for nefarious reasons. I mean, that's another reason companies don't do it, right? There's also reputation damage. Very few companies talk about this, but paying a ransom, might not prevent the hackers from publicizing the breach at all. Right? And it damages your reputation no matter what, right? And this is more with business partners and stakeholders, especially. It depends what kind of material is out there. Now, there's also legal consequences, believe it or not. Engaging in ransom payments can lead, depending on where you are in the world, to legal consequences. Some jurisdictions specifically prohibit the payment to cyber criminals. So even if you do want to pay them because they have some information that you need, it might be against the law, right? So, it just depends on the situation. Now, succumbing to ransomware, right, is something that when you pay them, it can also encourage future attacks, right? It might make your company more attractive knowing that they have a tendency to pay off. Now you have more people trying to attack your company, right? Let me give you another reason. I think we're in number 6 now. There's no control over future demands, right? Paying the ransom doesn't guarantee that these people are not going to make future demands depending on what information they took from you, right? And it could be an ongoing cycle. They might say, you know what? That was just the initial payment. So like the mob, that was a down payment. Now we need a monthly stipend, right? We need a monthly stipend so we can keep our mouth shut. Maybe the original ones don't even come back at you, but they sold that information to another party, and those people come to you. Or they could just target a specific member of your company depending on what information they obtained. So there really isn't any guarantee. I mean, how are you going to trust a criminal? Now, dealing with these attacks actually help you in the development of defense strategies, right? So you can use the attack and the resources that you can save from not paying in order to develop better defenses and look at what you did wrong, where it went wrong, And again, usually it has to do with people downloading stuff to their computers that has no business being there. Somebody mistakenly, clicking on a PDF when it's an executable file, but it was dressed up as a PDF, those kind of things, right? You can use the resources for that. Now, there could be also, guys, possible incomplete data restoration. Let's say you pay them, right, and you get your data back. Well, just because they took it doesn't mean they can restore it properly to you. So you paid the money, now you bring your data back in, and now there's crap missing, right? Now there's crap missing. So what's the good of paying it if you can't get your complete data back? That's another reason why not to pay. And another reason, you can actually do damage mitigation through other means. Instead of paying the ransom, you can focus on damage control, right? You can notify affecting parties. All that's going to take money, right? You can work with law enforcement, what have you. You're going to have to use those resources in other ways because, again, these are criminals, right? And if they took personal information from your employees, they're going to sell that. It doesn't matter if you pay them or not because that is also worth money. These guys are in it to make money. You're not dealing with Boy Scouts that once you pay them, they're going to stop being criminals. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. And last but not least, what these companies choose to do is invest in security. Just use the resources that would be spent on ransom payments to invest in, just better cybersecurity overall. And just having a better system. But, this always boils down to the same thing, guys. Just personal stupidity. Somebody just not following the rules when it comes to cybersecurity in the company, connecting their phones, going on questionable websites on the company, all these things. And, guys, nowadays, you as an individual, you have to be careful. Read the agreements that you make with your company because they might hold you liable for just a dumb mistake that you made if you don't take your training seriously when it comes to cybersecurity. But let me say this, it's free advertising, especially in the early developments of a game. We could see what Wolverine is going to be, and we can see it's in the style of Insomniac. There isn't anything there that we're not familiar with, and it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. If you're a Wolverine fan like I am, you're going to go buy this game regardless. We all are. Anybody that's interested in the Marvel Universe, and specifically when Insomniac makes these games, we know exactly what we're getting into. We know the quality. We know the gameplay. And, yeah, it is sad that we get to see some of this stuff ahead of time. But in the long run, is it going to affect sales? No. If anything, it's just free advertising. That's on the business side. Now, on the human side, the people that got exposed, well, that's a completely different story and where you have to be careful. All right, humans, I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.